I think one of the biggest things we struggle with as a society as a whole is our constant battle against mental health and how we choose to deal with it, how we choose to look at it, how we choose to label it, medicate it, soothe it, whatever. Everybody has their own different ways of doing it. You can take it to your home remedies, whatever you want to do at home. You can be, doing drugs, smoking, drinking like crazy. You go to other addictions or whatever you want to do to try to get the thoughts out of your head or the feelings out of your body and all this stuff. There's so many different outlets people take to deal with their mental health. A lot of it in the world predominantly it leads to prescription medications or alcohol or drugs. Drugs are a big one too, but there's such a problem in this country or even worldwide of always trying to medicate yourself in whichever way you choose to do it, holistically or recreationally or prescribed, whatever. You are not solving the problem. The problem is not going to be solved. Trust me, I've been down that road to every single freaking outlet you can possibly think to try to deal with stuff in my head and figure out what can make it better or quiet it or, whatever. I've done every single out. You have no idea. Nothing helps. Nothing ever did help. Nothing helped. I've tried it all. Trust me. I was biggest freaking addict you could ever see. I've done it all. And no matter how much you've tried, and of course this is a long time ago. This is not recent, y'all, so don't come after me. I'm saying I've led a lot of shit in my life and a lot of stuff, and I've led a lot of different lives through traumatic and tragedies that's happened in my life, and I've done to a lot of stupid stuff trying to get past it. But anyways, not the point. Nothing ever helped. Nothing ever made the feelings and the thoughts and the depression and the anxiety and everything subside. Nothing ever did. And back in the day, I always thought that, when I was praying to God and everything, and I thought I had all this faith, I thought I had all these just convictions and stuff. I thought I was it. I really did. I thought I had God in my heart and all this stuff. No, I didn't. I did not. I know I did not, and I know that for a fact. Now, after going through everything I went through previously, and choosing the routes I chose to try to deal with these things that did nothing, but yet I still was trying to talk to God and all this stuff and trying to be holy and praise and all this stuff when I was just faking it, and literally I was not really feeling it. It was all fake. I thought I had it. I know I didn't now, because now there's so much has changed. Like, you really actually want to change what's in your head and what's in your heart and everything, and instead of going to all those outlets, you decide to go to God and actually do it for the right reasons and submit and want to change the things about yourself. And I know that's a lot of people might come after me and everything, well, it's scientific and it takes medications and it takes that, but does it always? I mean, I know there's some situations, I guess. I'm not no doctor, I'm not no scientist, don't be coming after me. But in my personal opinion, because I've tried it, and I've known a lot of people that've done things different ways, none of that stuff helped. None of that stuff mattered. It didn't touch anything. But as soon as I actually freaking gave my life over and actually did things differently and chose a different path and cleansed myself of all that crap that was in my head and all the negative stuff that was in my head and everything I was chasing I shouldn't have been chasing, everything I was thinking about that I shouldn't have been thinking about and doing, and so on and so forth. And so that actually stopped it and actually did really put that faith in God and actually deny myself and all these things, it literally changed. And I've had some doozies of some mental issues that I never cared to disclose or talk about, and I didn't realize I had it. But looking back, I sure as hell had it. I had a lot of it. A whole lot of it. I was probably a little bit batshit crazy. And I had a lot of problems, and I never realized just in my teenage and adolescent years how bad it was. Because, it was normal. It was okay. We just dealt with it. No, it wasn't normal. It wasn't normal at all. I was messed up. But anyways, but then versus now is a totally different ballgame. If I would have been the person I am now dealing with those things then, I think I would have had a whole lot better outlet and chance at life and a better life if I had done the things I've done now then. Instead of choosing those unhealthy outlets and addictions and things I always chased. But anyways, I'm just freaking rambling. There's a whole lot of stuff in the Bible that talks about mental health. This one is Philippians 4, 6 through 7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, and will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Don't be anxious. Worry about Him. Put it on Him. Let it go. It works, y'all. It really works. 1 Peter 5:7 says, casting all your anxieties on Him because He cares for you. Again, talking about let it go. Let me have it. Talk to me about it. I'm here. Cast all your stuff on me. Lay it at my feet. Because I'm going to be here to help you. If you actually really trust in me, I'm going to help you out. But if you're not going to believe in me and you want to do all the stuff you want to do and keep on with the crazy, I'm not going to do anything about it. You've got to trust me, which is not hard or very hard to do in some people's cases. Mine back in the day. Matthew 6:34 says, therefore do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious in itself. Sufficient for one day is its own trouble. Ain't that the truth? All of us overthinkers and us anxiety-ridden people and all this stuff, dude, that's all we do is worry about tomorrow. It's all there's just so much shit, there's so much blah, 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 this and that. You're just caught up in it and you freak out. You're not worried about what's in front of you right now. You're worried about all this other crap. And it makes you go crazy. And He's there right here. Don't worry about it. Let go. Let me. Don't worry about it. Be done. Boom. I like that. I really like this one. Jonah 2, 5 through 7. The waters closed in over me to take my life. The deep surrounded me. The weeds were wrapped around my head and the roots of the mountains. At the roots of the mountains. I went down to the land whose bars closed up upon me forever. Yet you brought up my life from the pit. Oh, I can't talk out loud, y'all. Let me start over. The waters closed in over me to take my life. The deep surrounded me. Weeds were wrapped around my head and at the roots of the mountains. I went down to the land whose bars closed up upon me forever. Yet you brought up my life from the pit. O Lord my God, when my life was fainting away, I remembered my Lord, and my prayer came to you and into your holy temple. That's deep. That's crazy. How I would perceive this, which is in Jonah, so we all know what Jonah's about, but this man was in such despair. He was in such this pit. He was overwhelmed. All the stuff was happening. There was no hope. Everything was just flooding around him. Everything was closing in on him. He was done. He was so just heavy and had all this stuff going on. And he says right there, he says, where to start? He said, yet you brought up my life from the pit. O Lord my God, when my life was fainting away, I remembered my Lord, and my prayer came to you into your holy temple. When he actually set that stuff down, he put it at his feet. He remembered God was there. His life changed. And that's such a cool passage. And I don't ever remember reading this. I thought that was so cool. That's a good one. 2 Corinthians 10:5 says, we destroy arguments and every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God, and we take every thought captive to obey Christ. That's pretty good too. That's basically we are our own enemy. We don't listen. We want to go for the other stuff. We don't want to listen to let go and let God. We want to listen to our own things. We want to listen. We got to argue. We got to compare. We got to all this stuff in the world. It's just talk, and no action. It says we destroy arguments and every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God. In other words, we are not listening to God. We just want to argue and say, He's not real, and He's this, and He can't do this, blah, blah, blah. And we take every thought captive to obey Christ. We are our own enemy. We are our own enemy. Because we don't listen. We don't listen. And that's, why do you think we ain't getting any better? Why do you think things never change? Because we ain't listening. We can't hear it. We can't hear Him. Jeremiah 17:9 says, the heart is deceitful above all things. It's desperately sick. Who can understand it? True that. And that's why we always have to listen, not to ourselves, not to what we think, not to our intrusive thoughts, not to everything that's going in our head, and actually put that on God, because we are the most deceitful creatures in the world. We can't believe anything coming out of our heart and mind unless we actually have God on top, because unless God's on top, it's everything else in the world that's making us freaking crazy. Why do you think we're always mentally messed up and sick and always having problems? Because we're not focusing on what's important, and we're just focusing on the world. We're not going to get any better. We're always going to be crazy. We're all going to be crazy. All crazy. Crazy. Don't come after me. I'm just,